Can international students leave the country after completing their studies? I have been asked this question a lot, and most of the people want to know that they have just completed their studies, whether they are allowed to travel or not, or if they do, would there be any complications? So, since I've been asked this question so many times, I thought I would just make content about it. So it's just easier for you guys to know and understand this rather than waiting for me to reply on the comments, which sometimes can take time. The question is whether you can travel or not. So if I have to keep it short, the answer is yes. Now, here are a few things that you need to keep in mind. One, if you can really avoid travel, I would highly recommend that you avoid that. With that, once you have your post graduation work permit, the physical copy, you can keep it with you, and that solves all your concern or the issues. But let's say that is not an option and you want to travel and you want to go now. In that case, I would recommend waiting at least a few days. If you don't want to wait for your work permit to come, which might take months, at least do this. Apply for your post graduation work permit and have the confirmation letter with you. That confirmation letter is something that would help you because you were here to study and you have completed your studies and now you have no reason to come back to Canada. And this is the question that immigration officer might pose, that what is the reason for you to come back to Canada. And this is also a reason that an immigration officer at your home country can ask that if you have already completed your studies, why do you want to go back? Now, technically, if you have a valid visa on your passport, you can enter Canada as a visitor. So this is what comes into play. So just so you clearly understand, these are two different things. Visa is what you have on your passport, and this is what gives you the authorization to travel or enter Canada, whether you are entering as a visitor or a work permit holder or a study permit holder. So your visa is the travel document. Your permit is just the authorization to remain in Canada. So, in order to travel, you don't really need a permit. What you need is a valid visa. So, as long as your visa or the TRV is valid, you are able to travel. Now you are ready to come back. Just give the officer the letter that you have applied for your post graduation work permit. And if you didn't apply for your post graduation work permit, you have no reason, you have no proof to show them that this is your intention and this is what you want to do. It's just you are trying to convince them verbally, but you have no proof to show. So that is why I'm suggesting, if you want to leave, try to at least apply for your post graduation work permit. So once you leave and when you're coming back, if IRCC has already processed your post graduation work permit while you were still away, you can easily enter as a worker. No problem there. And if they are still processing your post graduation work permit, let's say you had a short trip planned for maybe a week or two, and you want to come back and enter Canada, you would enter as a visitor. You can also start working without a work permit because you have already applied for your work permit and that gave you implied status. So, regardless of how long they take to approve your application, you can continue working. And this is all good. You can, in short, travel. Just the thing to keep in mind is the officer has the full authority to deny the entry, and same goes for some airlines also. I've seen it with Indian Airlines at the very least. So they sometimes act as immigration officer and they would want to know that why do you want to go. So your whole purpose, your whole effort is to convince them that this is my reason to go back. This is the proof I have. So as long as you have a confirmation letter stating that you have applied for a post graduation work permit, you should be okay. And if you guys still have questions or concerns, I would leave in the description the link from IRCC showing the same information so you can have some peace of mind and double check the information that I've just given you. So I really hope this helps, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.